everyone, and I welcome you to this course on an introduction to urban ecological heritage, theories and applications. What do you see behind me? All these pictures, the historic Victoria Memorial, the iconic Howrah Bridge, and here the idol of the goddess Durga, and the mouth-watering sweets Rasgulla. Do these pictures make you remind of any particular city from our country, India? Yes, you are absolutely right. The pictures signify the urban delta city of Kolkata. Now, what is urban heritage? Urban heritage comprises built structures, infrastructures, historic buildings, architecture, even street lights, streets, lamps and what not. Recently, there also has been an expansion in the idea of heritage from tangible to intangible aspects or components. For example, the Durga Puja festival, which is one of the grand celebrations, one of the very significant festivals so far as the state of Bengal in general or the city of Kolkata in particular is concerned. You will be happy to know, and I am sure that some of you already know, that Durga Puja, the Durga Puja festival is now included within the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage. So, what do you see in this Pottochitra? Do you know the meaning of Pottochitra? It is scroll printing, a traditional performative folk art form from Bengal, and this is such a beautiful, rich and thickly crafted Pottochitra displaying brilliantly and explicitly the interconnections and the interconnections between the floral, faunal, avian world along with the world of the human beings. Now, you saw those pictures before through which you could easily relate to the city of Kolkata, but if I tell you that this Pottochitra also conveys the larger narrative of Kolkata's heritage, would you be able to believe that? So, in one of our recently completed projects, we got the opportunity to work with 16 students from the wetland schools of Kolkata, where together we had a great co-learning experience and exposure. So, I should say a little bit about Kolkata's wetlands which are situated at the eastern periphery of the city. These wetlands are also known as the backyard of Kolkata, but they form the backbone of the city because these wetlands connect the history of the city, joining the dots between her past, present and future. So, Kolkata has inherited these wetlands, or the wetlands are the symbol manifesting the inheritance of the larger historical, geographical, geomorphological forces that shape the dynamics between the urban and the environment. In this course, we would try to establish this relationship that is already there. So, we do not actually need to establish this relationship, but we need to perspectivize, we need to focus on this inheritance, the urban ecological inheritance that is embedded within part and parcel of each urban space that is an inherent part of these urban world systems. So, it is important to actually investigate the minute processes that enable the functioning of a city and that make the survival and sustenance of a city possible. And it is important to appreciate that, it is important to take into account these larger narratives that form the larger or the greater scenario or picture of urban ecological heritage. You will get to know more about these initiatives, or you will get to know about how we actually through this project, through one of the SMUS sponsored project, we try to have very detailed understanding of what we are trying to place in this course as urban ecological heritage. So, it is an emerging concept, and there can be lot of agreements or disagreements between us about what we consider as the urban or the environment or the heritage and their interconnections. But what is important for us to know through this course is again the intricate interrelationship between these three categories that will be explicitly explained through the various snippets of the course with a larger theoretical coverage and also stories and narratives and case studies from practical empirical implementation projects.
So, for a long period of time, cities have been placed in a very antithetical position to nature, especially in urban scholarship, where cities have been identified with big and hard infrastructures such as roads, pavements, street lamps, etc. But at the same time, we talk about ecology or environment, the things, the characteristics that suggested of the same were ascribed to as waterscapes, landscapes, pasture lands, grasslands, etc. So, there was a distinct demarcation set between these two particular group of studies, and there is a very interesting debate that occurred on this demarcation between Donald Worcester and Martin Melancey. So, what did Donald Worcester say? So, he suggested that the history of environment should be only consisting of those distinct environmental things that he identified as tidal currents, weather, climate, biota, etc. And he said that to understand an environment, one should study only the living sources of the earth or the biota, which has been more susceptible to human manipulation than the non-biological factors, and this should be included as the primal subjects for environmental history to see how anthropogenic activities have over the time shaped them. But when Martin Melancey came, he actually gave a very interesting understanding of this phase. He said that why should there be a distinct demarcation between these two at all, when this urban has been crafted out of nature itself. These cities he talks about, he said that these are derived from the natural world and they have been shaped by their constant interactions and how they have blended with the urban environment. So, he said that the study of the natural history of the city should actually be combined with the history of city building and their possible intersections.
So, in this course you will get exposed to theorizations so far as this emerging or the budding concept of urban ecological heritage is concerned, and how it is getting manifested through the declarations and guidelines of UNESCO or ICOMOS, and the recent very exciting concept of HUL or HUL, which is Historic Urban Landscape, and Sustainable Development Goal 11 that focuses on safe and sustainable cities and communities, and more specifically SDG 11.4 that talks about protecting and safeguarding world's natural cultural heritage. But apart from these theorizations, you will also get exposed to, you will get familiarized with practical examples and scenarios through application oriented pedagogies.
The MOOC course is really unique in that it stitches together the state-of-the-art theoretical ideas and practical understandings from the two case sites, including the East Kolkata wetlands and the lakes of Bangalore. We have applied multimodal approaches in the field, including transect walk, participant observation, interviews, workshops, engaging multiple stakeholders whose voices can be heard through various audiovisual presentations. So it goes beyond the pre-recorded classroom lectures and captures the voices, the sounds, and the sights from the field. So this has been a co-learning experience altogether through the lectures, videos, and the forum. And the final agenda is to see like an urban ecologist and to perspectivize the inheritance that binds us all together.